The Ford Performance by Borla Touring System is the catback of choice when looking to go aftermarket, but at the same time keep that volume to a minimum. Now, prospective buyers can look forward to a very high quality system here, including the 304 grade stainless steel, in addition to that dual split rear exit configuration and black tips, all for just north of $1,200. Now, the install for most owners will be relatively straightforward. However, some might encounter some light trimming of the new system here, depending on your wheelbase. So therefore, I will knock this one up to a 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, with a little bit more detail to come later in the video. All right, so for those who don't know, the Ford Performance by Borla Touring is going to be the milder of the two offerings currently on the site for your 5-liter truck, the other being the slightly more aggressive sports system. And as you guys heard with our sound clips at the very top of this video, the Touring is going to be pretty tame overall. There's no getting around that, and that's the big appeal of this system. So much so that I'm willing to go strong 2 out of 5 on my patented 1 to 5 or 1 to wake the neighbor scale, which is kind of rare territory. And I say that because most of the systems I typically review reach at least a 3 or above, but not too many fall below that, and this is one of them. And what does that mean to you guys watching at home? Well, if you use your truck primarily as a family hauler and want to hear a little bit more rumble on the outside of the truck, but without going too crazy or over the top, the Touring is going to be absolutely perfect. Now, it's going to be a very livable system day in and day out, especially on those long road trips where, let's face it guys, more aggressive systems can be a little boomy and can get very old very quick. That is not going to be the case here with the Touring. Again, a very livable system, very daily driver friendly, and one that will be nearly silent within the cab of your truck. And even though you might not be getting a ton of added noise or volume out of the Touring catback, you are getting a big time upgrade to the appearance and also the materials themselves. But first, let's start with the appearance, and it's pretty obvious, right guys? You're taking that rather boring single side exit factory configuration, and turning it into the tried and true red, white, and blue dual split rear exit. A look very fitting of the F-150, and honestly, in my opinion, a look that should have come that way from the factory. Now, on the material side, on the other hand, well, since we are talking Ford Performance and Borla, a great collaboration indeed, one can expect the goods here. And that basically means 304 grade stainless steel throughout, as mentioned earlier, including the 3-inch tubing leading into and out of the included resonator and into your Touring Series muffler here, before stepping down in the 2¼ tubing, also mandrel bent guys, and finally exiting out the 4-inch slash cut tips in black and then embossed with that Ford logo. Now, just a quick heads up, you can also grab these things in a more traditional polished finish as well, if you'd prefer, for a very similar price. Now, before we get into the install, I do want to point out that long wheelbase trucks such as your Super Cruise with the 6.5-foot bed and the regular cab trucks with the 8-foot bed, you are going to need to pick up the additional adapter pipe from the drop-down menu here on the site. All other owners, on the other hand, will be able to use what's included with the system to get everything installed. And speaking of the install, let's get into our detailed walkthrough right now, which again, I will knock this one up to a 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, because some owners might need to trim up this portion of the system right here, depending on your wheelbase, and the instructions lay that all out very clearly for you. But again, without further ado, here is our detailed walkthrough in addition to a tool breakdown.
To get this install started, we're going to begin by removing the two 13mm bolts here at the flange right in front of the resonator. I have a 13mm socket on my ratchet here, so let's go ahead and get those bolts removed. Make sure you hold on to these two bolts, guys. They're going to be used for the installation of your new exhaust system. So we went through and sprayed all of our rubber hangers down with some WD-40. That's going to help slide the exhaust system right out of the hangers. Next thing we're going to do is remove the factory exhaust system. It's going to come down in one piece. I have a pretty big pry bar here, and what I'm going to do is put it behind the muffler, pry the exhaust out of the hangers and have a friend help me drop this whole thing down in one piece. First off, we are gonna start with our Resonator pipe. We're gonna get this up. I have a pole jack here to help me hold the other end of the pipe. And we're gonna use the 2 factory bolts that we took out to loosely bolt this up for now. We're not gonna tighten this up. We're just gonna get these started to hold it in place until we get some of our other pipes started. Next up is our extension pipe. Don't forget to put a clamp on before you stick this onto your Resonator pipe. So we'll get this started on the Resonator, and then we want to get it in the rubber isolator here. Next up is our muffler. Again, don't forget to slide your clamp on your pipe before you get this guy in place. This also has a hanger on it. So we're gonna go up over the axle here. We'll get started in the hanger, and at the same time, we wanna line it up. With our extension pipe. That pole jack again to help me get this lined up to where I want it. Next thing we need to do is add the rear tailpipe exhaust hanger. So what we need to do is get a 21mm socket and a 24mm wrench and loosen the bolt that holds the leaf spring to the frame of the truck. We're not going to completely remove this bolt, we're just going to loosen it up so we can tuck our new hanger right behind the bolt and then tighten everything back up. All right, once you've got about a 1/4 inch of a gap behind your bolt, you can take your hanger, slide it up on in there, and we can tighten this bolt right back up. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side of the truck now to get our tailpipe hanger into place. Loosen this bolt up. Again, we only need about a 1/4 inch gap behind this bolt here. We do not need to take it all the way out, and I highly recommend that you do not take it all the way out. Slide our hanger up and tighten it right back down. Now that we've got both of our tailpipe hangers in place, we can stick a rubber isolator on each one of them. I'm gonna spray it down with a little WD-40 first. And we'll go ahead and push this right on. So with our right side set, we can take our right side tailpipe now. Don't forget your clamp. Slide our clamp on the end here. We're gonna make the connection to the muffler first. And then we'll come right up here and slide this guy in our rubber isolator. And we can move right on to the left side next. All right, same thing on the left side of the truck now. Spray our isolator down with a little WD-40. And pop it in place. And we are going to start. All right, we've got our isolator hung in the back here. We have an extension pipe coming off for our left side tailpipe. Don't forget to put your clamp on again, and we'll get this started up onto our muffler. And now we can put our tailpipe onto our extension pipe. All right, we're now ready to put our tailpipe into place. Keep in mind that Borla does label these for you. There is a big old left L sticker on this tailpipe here. And I can't stress this enough, don't forget to put your clamp on. There's nothing more frustrating than forgetting to put your clamp on. We'll slide this around back and put it right in our isolator. All right, let's get some of these clamps tightened up. All right, we've got everything hung loosely now. We're gonna go through and start to tighten up some of our clamps. All the clamps are a 15mm nut. So I have a 15mm socket on my 1/2-inch impact gun. And I'm gonna start at the back, get my tips somewhat where I want them, and start tightening these up. And last but not least, we're going to tighten up the 2 bolts right at the resonator flange. These are 13mm bolts. All right guys, that's going to do it for our review and install. Be sure to check this exhaust system out and more at AmericanTrucks.com.